This time, on Whatever We Want, we talk about
Marvel. We are ranking each complete phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There are time codes down in the description. If you'd like to jump around to different points in the episode, we talk everything from Infinity War to Thor the Dark World. Enjoy! Welcome back to Whatever We Want. We review content across all means and media, movies, TV shows, video games, and beyond to give you the most interesting behind-the-scenes insights, storytelling techniques, all that jazz, and more.
We go over everything from Marvel, DC, Pixar. So without further ado, let's jump in to the stuff.
Oh wait, how do we start this? Yeah, there's no. I almost did pre-banter. All right, boosh, here we are, Daniel. What's up? I don't know what's happening. I got a haircut today that brought me back in time. I feel like a younger man, and I thought we had to do pre-banter, but we don't do pre-banter. But we're kind of doing pre-banter because I have brought it up. I think I'm just throwing off because we're recording at a different time because
yeah, you definitely are. It's funny because I also got a haircut yesterday. So like,
looks good.
We both got fresh cuts going on, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I didn't even have a chance to style it. I literally got back. That's why I'm like wearing this hat for our video listeners that can see. But yeah. All right. I'm really excited about this episode today. I feel like we should do this like MCU ranking of the phases. Like we should do it every time a phase ends. So we probably should have done this right after Wakanda Forever came out because that was like the end of phase 4. So like I feel like we can start to talk about phase 5 in this episode, but like I don't think we should give a definitive answer because there's only been 2 things that have come out since then, since that started.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to recap what we said in the intro in case that wasn't clear, but we are ranking the MCU, all the MCU since phase 4 is like officially over, but we're doing it because there's so many things, we're doing it by phase. So we're going to say like, this is my favorite phase. This is a blank out of 10. I figured we could do like that. And then rank them that way, like overall as a phase. And then we'll talk a little bit about like the individual projects. Like this one, like is like a positive for me. It like when I'm considering my ranking, this is a negative, but we're not going to go into like, I'm ranking like Iron Man 2 as like a 67% out of 100 or something, like 6.7 out of 10.
That'd be a lot for us to get into like that.
But we'll talk about eeach one like just in generality. But let's start with phase 3. I'm just kidding. That'd be so weird. Why would we do that? Phase 1, we'll start there.
Yeah, so phase 1 is pretty much Iron Man 2 Avengers. So
wait, how are you doing, Daniel? Sorry, I feel like I just rushed in.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm kind of feel like shit right now, honestly, because my allergies still. Like, just screw allergies, man. In our last episode we recorded with Pat, I feel like I'm an unsung hero, like, because I edited all of your sniffs out, and it was so many.
Oh,
and dude, last time, it was literally so much.
The way I edit the podcast is, like, I cut up everything and don't really, like, listen to what is being said. I just look at the audio waveforms, so anytime there's, like, a spike, I'm just like, that's someone saying something, so I don't cut it out. And then I normalize all the audio levels to 0, so it just made your sniffs extremely like loud in my ears. And I was like, okay, well that's obviously a sniff. So like I just heard Daniel sniff probably like 70 times editing the last episode. I feel like let's break that record this time.
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding, please don't.
I don't think it's gonna be as bad as last time, but I'll
okay,
I'm still stuffy.
Well,
sorry, dude, I can't control it. It's just my body doing its thing.
It's good. I'm just saying that people should praise me for the sacrifice I'm making. I'm just kidding. I
can just imagine you like going through and editing that, and it's like hot stopping on like all it's just like.
Yeah, it's really annoying. Okay, let's stop doing it intentionally. Oh my gosh, I'm getting like PTSD just hearing it in Discord.
That's for a bit, you know. That's all right. You can
okay, it's not okay. Got it. So. Phase 1. The contents of this phase are Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, the First Avenger, and the Avengers.
Yes.
What are some of the positives of this phase for you out of those?
I mean, it was nice seeing the origins out of like our main cast of Avengers here. Yeah. And it all came together for this nice little arc that eventually did become Avengers, like seeing like the OG team.
Yeah, as a standalone arc, this is a good one because like it starts everything and then culminates in Avengers. I feel like these other phases, like you have to know the previous few phases to understand them, but as obviously since this is the first one, as a standalone, this one bumps up in some cred for that for me.
Yeah, exactly. It's cool seeing because the Hulk originally wasn't technically included in phase 1, right? Technically, it was retroactively added, wasn't it?
I don't really remember, but I think it was originally included. Like I mean, I think
there was a little Easter egg that had RDJ like at the end, but like,
well, that's the thing. I don't think they knew it was going to be the MCU. Like, I don't think they knew they were going to be phases. I think they just made Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk as like movies and just kind of saw what stuck, and then they were like, oh, this is interesting. Then they started scheming and kind of like retroactively made the whole like phase. So I guess you could say the Incredible Hulk was like retroactively added, but you could also say then Iron Man was retroactively added to phase 1. Like, I don't think it was going to be in phase 1 when they were like, all right, 2007, we're making a cinematic universe. We'll eventually make She-Hulk down the road someday. I don't know. But yeah, I think for me, I also consider nostalgia hits hardest on this one because this is the origins of the MCU. And I don't know, like when I was a kid, like these are the ones I was growing up on. So that's impressive, but also have to consider that this is I feel like the cheesiest era of the MCU. Like, I feel like once Winter Soldier and Guardians hit, that in phase 2, that very much matured the content of the MCU movies and space in the MCU movies. Like, those two really pivoted, which I'm going to talk about in phase 2. But before that, like, especially in Avengers, like, that is a cheesy movie. Like, the freaking Captain America costume.
Like, I was just going to say, his costume, because, like, how Spangler it is, dude.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, there's a beauty to it in that sense.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
know?
There's
like,
some, I can appreciate the cheese. I like cheese with some wine, some crackers, you know?
Fine date. But,
yeah, dude, you know, I'm just imagining me going to like a winery dressed up in the Captain America like outfit, the cheesy one.
And technically it works out if you think about it too, because Coulson was the one that designed it or redesigned it.
Oh,
and you can imagine him being like all in love and like super like cheesed out. He's like, I gotta make it work, you know?
Based, yeah, the colors. I want to kind of go through and like kind of just like make extremes every time. So for each phase, I want to go through each one and like each movie and ask you, is this a positive overall for this phase for you, or is this a negative overall in this phase for you? So what are the positives for you in this phase?
Big positives just all around. One, because they're all solid origin stories, and then seeing the way that they all came together.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
What do you mean?
I'm saying like Iron Man, like Captain America, Avengers, and Thor are what I'm considering positives of this phase. And then negatives of this phase, like things that could be like, that might detract points in like my ranking. I'm going to say like Incredible Hulk and Iron Man 2. So like, does that make sense? Like overall, this movie's a positive, adding points to my ranking. This movie's a negative, decreasing points for my movie.
We're like counting score now. I see. I see.
So yeah. Okay.
I kind of concur with that. I think Hulk could have been better. It just was the timing and just the way it was executed. But it did introduce elements. So I'm going to say that is a con, though, because of how that was executed. And
and Iron Man 2 is a negative.
Yeah.
Whiplash, dude? What do you mean?
But there will be blood in the water, and the sharks will come.
Yeah.
Just like the ratings.
I think also I could see a lot of people saying Thor is a negative in this phase. I personally don't feel that way. I also have to, like, it was my first Makeout movie, so that elevates it personally for me as like it's a good movie. But I also just really enjoy the first Thor. Like it opened the door to space in the MCU really early on, and like we also got Loki. Like it definitely had its flaws, but I think overall it was more positive in my eyes.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Yeah. All right. What is your ranking out of 10 for phase 1?
I'm gonna give it an 8.3.
We're doing decimals, I forgot. All right. I'm going to say 8.1. And I've lowered it a few decimals solely due to Thor's bleached eyebrows. They still haunt my nightmares to this day. They show up in my nightmares in Dutch angles, too.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
All right, so phase 1, 8. I need to go back and watch these movies, dude. It's been a hot minute since
same. We still need to finish our
rewatch. I think we got to phase 3. What was your favorite of phase 1? Your favorite film from phase 1?
I'd say either Avengers or Captain America, honestly.
I agree. I think it's tough. It could depend on the day. I really like Captain America. Like it's a period piece and it's definitely the weakest out of the Captain America trilogy, but like I think it's a really solid first film. I think we talked about this on our Guardians episode. We ranked all the trilogies. Like I really like the first Captain America. I think it's a good introduction. Yeah. I think I'm going to say the Avengers, though. I think just what that represented and the culmination of everything, all the characters, and Loki was a good villain. I think Avengers, it's just like, it was such a game changer. So I'm going to say Avengers for my top Phase 1 film.
Cool.
All right, you ready to jump in?
I think it's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Phase 2.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Phase 2 consists of Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers: Age of Ultron, and Ant-Man.
So this one is more of a mixed bag, but you also got to consider like it really starts setting things up for the future arcs of the MCU.
I think this has higher highs but lower lows.
Yes, this is more extreme,
and there's a lot of lower lows.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I completely agree with that. Like my initial gut reaction was that Phase 1 was going to be like leagues better than Phase 2, but after I was like looking at this, I feel like with Winter Soldier and Guardians 1, that is really elevating this phase for me. But also Thor: The Dark World is really low.
Really bringing it down.
It kind of averages out. So I have to see, like, do I love this more or do I hate this more? Like, I have to average it out.
Well, you're saying Thor: The Dark World. I'm also saying the Age of Ultron could have been a lot better. Honestly,
Ultron definitely could have been a lot better. It's the weakest Avengers film in my mind. But
yeah,
I feel like Ultron is. I don't hate it nearly as much as I dislike Thor: The Dark World. Like I concur with that. I go back and watch Ultron not often, but like I don't know, like more than people I think let on. People hate on it a lot, but it had like a lot of good elements, like freaking James Spader as Ultron, and like the introduction of Vision, Wanda's introduction as well, besides just the post-credit scene.
I mean, for me, the best fight out of the whole thing was Tony
the Hulkbuster.
Hulkbuster versus Hulk, dude. That was freaking killer, dude.
Yeah. And also bumps up a few points because of Captain America ripping that log in half.
Or the log, yeah.
The car? What?
I was thinking when the thing was up and he was trying to open the car or like get the car. I don't know. My mind made an AI image. What can I say?
Okay. Just misremembering the past. But yeah, I'm interested to hear what you think are the positives of this phase and the negatives of this phase, kind of similar to what we did last time. Do you want to do yours first?
Yeah. So I'll say Iron Man 3 actually is kind of more mid. It's like positive mid, but it's still mid.
No, I agree. But if I was saying it had to be positive or negative, I think we have to say positive or negative, but then we can caveat. But I'm saying also agree Iron Man 3 is a positive.
I'm saying positive, yes.
Yeah.
But it's testing the waters there, you know what I'm saying?
Even though it's the plot of The Incredibles, but it's still a positive. There are a lot of great things in it.
But then we get into Thor: The Dark World, and that just takes a huge dip. We're going down that curve, okay?
It's like a roller coaster. It literally,
literally it is.
A roller coaster.
Then we go back up.
It's more fun.
With Cap 2.
Yeah.
Right? Guardians keeps you up there.
Yeah.
Right?
Still climbing.
Avengers,
then you
I want to say still positive, but it's down. Yeah.
Interesting.
Again, okay. I think it's positive because of all the different... It's the sum of the different good parts.
Yeah.
The overall arc was bad, but like I think in totality...
Yeah.
It had a lot of good like little elements throughout.
I slightly disagree. I have Ultron in my negative, but just slightly. Like I think we're both like kind of hovering around the line, but I think for me it's just slightly in the negative just because I'm thinking of the other 3 Avengers films and how good they are. I wish we had another one on that tier. Although there were good elements to this one, but yeah, I think we're close, but yeah. All right, sorry, you were saying.
And then Ant-Man.
You're saying that's positive. You like Ant-Man.
Yeah, I like Ant-Man. So I kind of just rise, but it's not also not as great as like say like Guardians or
Winter Soldier.
So I'm saying we get down to like that just above positive line with Avengers, and then we kind of like keep it there. We slow off the ride with Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's like the end. You're like getting off the ride. I have a slightly different list. I think the positives in this phase for me are Iron Man 3, which we talked about, The Winter Soldier, and Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I think you had more in your positives. Those are the only 3. I'm pretty split in the middle. The negatives of this phase, I have Thor: The Dark World. It's like bottom of the barrel. But I also have Ultron and Ant-Man within the negatives. Like if I had to choose, I like Ant-Man as a character, but this first one I think is probably the best. This is the best
out of the trilogy.
The trilogy. But just that's the bar, and like I do enjoy it. It's a fun movie, but it's still not my favorite MCU movie. I don't go back to this one. And I respect that you like it, but for me, it's within the negative of this. And same with Ultron. Like it's what I said earlier about my least favorite of the Avengers films, and it's close to the midline, but slight in the negative. All right. So,
well, all right.
What is your rating out of 10 for this one? So you said 8.3 for phase 1.
Yes. Phase 2, I'm going to give that a... Oh, Thor takes it down a lot.
I know.
7.2.
Interesting. That's about where I had it as well. I had it at like a 7.3.
Yeah.
Like I think Guardians and Winter Soldier are doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
And then Thor
just tanks it, dude.
Ultron and
it's like the SATs where you have that one section that you just tank, dude.
Or you're in a group project and just like the two guys do all the work and everyone else just like, I don't know, like
just slacks off
being Thor 2 basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Ready to jump into phase 3?
Oh yeah. We got a lot in this one.
Phase 3 really opens up. So there's like more quantity for, if you asked me this question like years ago, I would have argued like, well, they had more quantity, so there could have been more good things. But now having seen phase 4, I'm seeing that quantity does not mean quality. So I respect that phase 3 was quantity and quality.
Yes.
So we had Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, Endgame, and Spider-Man Far From Home. Dang, that's a lot, dude.
That's a lot, dude.
Well, yeah, what are your overall thoughts just about this phase?
It does two major things. It obviously ends the first major arc of the MCU.
Yeah, the Infinity Saga.
Yeah. And there's also a lot of other good bangers in this phase.
Bangers. What's a banger?
A banger?
Yeah, which one's a banger?
Dude, we got like Thor Ragnarok. We have both of the Avengers, from this one. Black Panther like slapped, and Civil War is also pretty up there too.
I am like worried to say this. This might be a controversial take, but I think
you say you like Captain Marvel.
No. I think Black Panther. I think Black Panther is a great film, but I think it's really overhyped.
Okay, Cartman, take it easy.
I like seriously. Like I don't want to deter from like what a cultural movement and like moment it was in history, and I think that is incredible. But I think that kind of did a lot of the helped with a lot of the heavy lifting for the marketing, was a big push to it. And just objectively looking at it as a film, like as if just any white guy made it, I think it's like not top 3 MCU films, which a lot of people put it in. So that's just my opinion.
No, I think it's still up there. It has a pretty solid.
It's up there, but I don't think it's top 3, which a lot of people.
I agree. I don't think it's top 3 either, but I think it's still a really good film. And
yeah,
I think, it captures. The only thing I can really fault it for is that end fight.
Yeah, that's what brings it down a lot, is CGI in the end fight. And, but it's still really good. It's good aspects. Andy Serkis is good in it. Chadwick Boseman is amazing. But yeah, all right. Anyways, that's into the weeds of Black Panther. My overall consensus before we get into the positive and negatives, this is my favorite phase. Like I knew this going in. Like a majority of these films are fantastic, and the weaker ones of this phase I wouldn't even consider like that bad. They're just like mediocre compared to the other great ones in this phase. Like if they were in another phase, I probably would have been some of my favorites. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. It's just like it's the culmination of the Infinity Saga. Oh my! It's peak Marvel in my opinion. I feel like a lot of people in Phase 4 have been like, we need to get back to like what Marvel used to be. For me personally, when I hear that, when I think back, this is what I'm thinking. Like we should get back to this. Like the feeling I had in this phase 3. But yeah. All right. What are your positives of this phase?
Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians 2. Honestly, Spider-Man is kind of closer to the edge.
Homecoming, really?
Positive. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy with how, again, we talked about this before about like the MCU Spider-Man. I feel like there's been a lot of hand-holding, but now I feel like we're getting to a point to now where he's actually going to be able to flourish and be like
I think
solid Peter and Spider-Man.
Yeah, I feel like your and a lot of people's issue with Spider-Man is that either exactly what you said, there's a lot of hand-holding, and now we're finally getting to the next phase. And I think it's like expectations not being met. Like you were hoping that we would get that in the first trilogy, like where he was like kind of like the more traditional Spider-Man story. But I think I don't think they were trying to tell that Spider-Man story. I think for the Spider-Man story they were trying to tell, they worked out. It worked out.
Not even more traditional, just more like Peter.
Yeah.
He definitely has like the way Tom's written here with this type of Peter Parker. Like he's definitely like he didn't get with great power comes great responsibility till the third movie. You know what I mean?
And I think that's okay.
So,
like I think it's just like one drawn out origin story. I think that's still really cool. And I think if they don't do anything with that in the future, I'll be upset. But I think for the story they were trying to tell, I personally like this trilogy a lot. I just think a lot of people were hoping for something different.
I'm still saying I like it. I just don't think I don't think it was done to its utmost potential.
Okay.
But yeah. Anywho, Ragnarok, big plus. Black Panther, like a middle. So like here's the line, here's the top. Like here, it's like a middle plus.
Okay.
Avengers, Infinity War, big plus. Ant-Man the Wasp, down. Captain Marvel,
Negative.
and then Endgame, huge plus.
Do you like Infinity War or what about Far From Home?
Oh, isn't that the beginning of
No, that's still the end of Phase 3.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I
Is
like
that a negative for
Mysterio.
you? That's a negative
tough.
for you. Interesting.
It's tough. Like I
like Far From
Mysterio.
Home. Yeah, Mysterio's good.
And I didn't think.
All right, interesting. Do you like Infinity War or Endgame better?
That's tough. I feel like
It's a very easy
Infinity
answer for me.
War was better.
Yeah. I think Infinity War is like not leagues better, but like substantially better than Endgame in my mind. Like it's not even like a question for me. Like I love Endgame, but I think Infinity War just like as a movie, like the way it was written and how they balanced everything was just freaking-tastic.
Yeah, agreed.
And just balancing all those storylines and all those characters. It was like a comic book movie, like in the craziest sense that you could make it. And I think honestly, like I might have to reconsider my favorite movie. I know I said Winter Soldier. I think Winter Soldier is my favorite baseline, like not baseline, but like solo movie. Yeah. Infinity War might be my favorite MCU movie potentially. Like it might dethrone.
Dang.
I don't know. It could flip flop, but like those are my top two for sure. Anyways, for my positives of this phase, I had a slightly different list than you. I'm saying Civil War, Guardians 2, Homecoming, Ragnarok, Black Panther, Infinity War, Endgame, and Far From Home. I did have in the positive. The negatives of this phase, I actually had Doctor Strange like really hovering around the middle. And I think just compared to the other ones I just listed, like all those amazing films, it's like lowering the average. It's still good, but the average of those other ones are so high that Doctor Strange lowers the average just a little bit. I still really like it. And then Ant-Man the Wasp and Captain Marvel lower the average a bit more than Doctor Strange does. Yeah.
It's funny you say that because Doctor Strange is like one of my favorite movies out of the MCU. Not like out of the MCU, but like I feel like it's really, really well done. So like when you're saying like
it brings the average down, I think, a little bit. But I think that's fair. I think if I would rewatch it, maybe. I think I liked it when it first came out, and then I remember we rewatched it. I think that was one of the last ones we rewatched for our MCU rewatch. I think the last time I watched it, I was like, oh, this wasn't like as good as I remembered. Maybe it was just because I like had just seen like 20 MCU movies and was like burned out at that point. That could totally be possible. But yeah, I don't know. I might have to give it a third rewatch or a second rewatch. It'd be a third time watching, second rewatch. Yeah. Daniel is currently dying with allergies, so I'm trying to stall. Are you back?
Yeah, dude, I totally hear you. I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Just play it off.
All right. What is your ranking out of 10 for Phase 3?
Phase 3 is going to be a solid. It's weird because they all hang around like either like a 0.2, 0.3 for me. I'm going to say it's going to be like a 9.3.
9.3. That is strong.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
strong.
I'm going to say 9.02 for mine. Just because I want it to be like 9, but I also want to give decimals to appease you.
Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna bring it down to 9. What did I say? 9.3.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't know. I'm thinking like 9.2.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about like the
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Shifting gears. So that was the end of the Infinity Saga. We're now jumping into the first phase of the Multiverse Saga, which just wrapped up, which is like just the sheer quantity they've done is crazy. This was all, it was 2021 was WandaVision, and then it ended in 2023. Like, no, it ended in 2022. So this was all within 2 years. All of these projects came out. For movies, we had Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, Thor, Love and Thunder, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And for TV, we had WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. And for specials, we had I Am Groot, Werewolf by Night, and Guardians Holiday Special.
Jesus.
And I know there were also specials for the other phases I didn't really mention, so maybe we shouldn't consider the specials in this ranking, but I just wanted to say, like, Marvel turned out a lot. And I don't know if it was for the better.
Yeah, agreed. I keep trying to find like an image that shows like all of the things because there's like a lot of old ones that have old timelines and shit.
So
there we go. That one's accurate. Okay, cool.
My overall like perception of this phase is it's interesting because like the films they did was like about, it was only like 6 or 7 films I think they did in this phase, which is about on par with like phase 1 and 2. So by terms of film, it wasn't like anything crazy different, but if they added like hours of TV shows and tons of TV that just like, if you put it all out, like total watch time, I think phase 4 is like more than phases 1 through 3 combined, which is insane.
Which is insane, dude.
And it's a lot to like just consume. And it also felt like they were just throwing crap at the wall and seeing what stuck. Like that's, and maybe in retrospect, once we know the whole multiverse saga, like story, that'll change, but right now it just feels like they're just throwing flooded stuff at the wall. Yeah. That all that to say, like this is my least favorite phase, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah, it feels so disjointed. There are some gems in there, I think, some decent stuff, especially in some of the TV stuff.
Yeah, agreed. But at the same time, it's just like if you're like Black Widow, dude. Like, what were you doing with that? Like, we waited so long for like a movie like that, and then you just gave us absolute like pure dog
I think
shit.
If Black Widow came out 2 years ago and in phase 3, like in between Civil War and Infinity War, it would have been amazing.
No.
Not amazing, but like it would have been received better.
No.
I think it would have been because like I personally would, because I went into Black Widow being like, I don't care like about this really because like she dies. Like it's cool to fill in some of the time spot there, but like I know she's going to die.
Clone Wars, Jake. Clone Wars.
That's true. Okay, that's a fair point. Also, I can't really say much because I also have not seen Black Panther all the way through.
You mean Black Widow?
Black Widow, not Black Panther. Yeah.
Yeah, no, your logic there was like, oh, I already know she dies. That doesn't really make much sense to me because it's like, if it's still a good story, then it's going to be entertaining and good to watch.
That's a very good point.
But that proves my point there that you're thinking that way because it wasn't a good story. It was just absolute dog water.
No, you explained me.
Yeah. So
I also want to say, and just overall, before we get into positive and negatives again, in terms of like the TV shows, I think they played a really risky gamble, and I don't think it paid off because I think this might have been scheduling with COVID, but the way it basically worked out was they filmed every single show in phase 4 all at once. Basically, they couldn't like get any feedback from the audience. Like they didn't know if a show was going to work or like if the audience was going to receive it. So they just stuck with this one formula for like every show, like this like 6 to 8 episode structure for most of the shows. And if it didn't work, which a lot of people think it didn't work for a lot of these shows, then they couldn't really change that because they already filmed everything. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's just my opinion on that. But there were some shows I did like. All right, I want to hear the positives of this phase for you. Let's can we set up by movies?
Yeah, I was gonna say either movies or shows. We need to pick one.
Let's do movies. Positives first.
For movies,
I feel like the positives of this phase are like mehs of last phase.
I don't even think this is an accurate. Hold on. We had.
Yeah, I can run them off again if you want.
Yeah, run them off again.
So there's Black Widow, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Okay, so Black Widow, big poopy butthole. Poopy,
Mr.
make me sad.
Butthole. So you're saying that's a negative.
Very big negative. Shang-Chi, surprisingly amazing positive. It was that was honestly out of the films probably the one that felt the most like the previous phases, if I'm being honest.
Interesting.
Probably because it was like an origin story of Shang-Chi, but also because it brought in new elements like the other films did and so on.
We also had Trevor. Trevor
Yeah,
came back.
Trevor, dude.
I forgot about that until this exact moment. Oh my gosh. I think because we were talking about Iron Man 3 earlier.
Yeah.
I do like that they brought him back. Yeah.
So yeah, no, that was cool. I really liked how they did that. We had next
Eternals.
Eternals. Yeah, that's why I was blanking on it because it was freaking.
What do you mean? Harry Styles was in it, bro.
Brother. Yeah, Star Fox. Do a barrel roll.
I don't think I'll ever watch Eternals again, and I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah, agreed. It's so bad that there's times I forget that it was a Marvel production.
I know.
That's how bad it was, dude.
No Way Home.
No Way Home. Big positive, mainly because you're able to see all the generations of Spider-Man together, and the story was actually pretty good. You know, for the summarization of what happened with our Spidey with Tom, like again, finally getting that lesson of great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah. See, Daniel, if you got that in the first two movies, you wouldn't have had this payoff in the third. You just had to wait. Just kidding.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree that it definitely did pay off. Going into oh god, what was the next one? Black Panther?
Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, Multiverse of Madness. Yeah.
What do you think?
It was good. It was. Oh, this is so on the bar. I'm gonna say slightly under the bar, but the good things that came out of this, right? It was. I personally enjoy it. I think it was a good film. I honestly would play. I definitely watch it again over some of the other ones here, but there's a lot of things that could have been done better, and it was kind of rough at some points. I do like how it started to really get into like visually introducing the multiverse. Like we started to need to get into that, and I think it was done really well.
I still think the best adaptation of like Doctor Strange using his powers was in Infinity War against Thanos. That was such a cool scene.
Agreed.
But I did like that we got some of that in this. All right, we got Thor 4 and Wakanda Forever, the last two.
Yeah. So for Thor,
oh
man, that's also like on the line too.
Really?
Yeah, it's on the line
that's
below.
A negative for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's on the line, but below. There's some cool visualization stuff there, but didn't really rock solid it. And then Wakanda Forever. I'm forgetting the plot. Oh wait, yeah, no,
they're in the water.
And... Yeah. Forget. The reason I was forgetting it is because of Avatar.
Yeah.
It's strange that we had two movies with blue water people, attacking, people, but. I'd have two nickels. It's whatever the phrase is.
So, is that a positive or negative?
I'm going to say that's actually a slight positive, All
right.
Yeah.
Here, I'll run through mine too quick for the movies. Yeah. So, my positives are Shang-Chi. I don't think I'm as strong as a positive as you are. I think it's really good. When they were like, it's like the most crazy kung fu movie, I was like, kind of hoping for like I think a little more. I think I just got super high expectations, like super kung fu.
Oh, I've never heard people say that.
What?
I never heard people market it as that.
Oh, I heard that, but like I think it's still really good with the kung fu, and I think there are great elements to it. But yeah, I think coming off of the high of Phase 3, I was hoping it. I think it felt like a step towards the origin movies, which I think just like kind of shook me a little bit. But it still was really good. Like I still like it. Next is No Way Home on my positives. The feeling I felt when I watched this for the first time, like in theaters, was so incredible.
So good.
Like, so much nostalgia, but also it is just a good experience, like good story, in my opinion. A good way to wrap out the MCU Spider-Man trilogy they had set up. And the 3 Spider-Men on screen, like at the same time, like incredible.
Yeah, dude.
Next, I also have Wakanda Forever on my list of positives. It's good. It's like very good for the cards they were dealt, especially with the consideration of the death of Chadwick Boseman. I also have Multiverse of Madness in my positives of this phase. It's like very close to the line, but I think what pushes it over is Sam Raimi's like filmmaking techniques and like his attention to detail for a lot of that. I think was really good, but I do think it's lower because it felt just very rushed.
That's
the
fair.
pacing.
I think for me, I'm like either positive or negative, like on the line there. Either like, it could depend on the day, So
the negatives for this phase of movies for me are Black Widow. I still have not seen Black Widow all the way through, and I consider myself a big fan of the MCU. The fact that I haven't seen that says something. Eternals, enough said. And Thor. Like, I think it's bumped up a bit because I worked on it, but objectively as a movie, I think it took what was good about Ragnarok and then leaned way too much into it, like the comedy, and didn't leave much room for like emotional dramatic moments for us to like resonate with the characters. Christian Bale was good. They just didn't give him enough to do.
Yeah. No, agreed.
All right. For TV shows, you cool if I go through my?
Yeah, you go through your list. Yeah.
So for the positives for TV, I have WandaVision. It was just so creative, like a great way to like kick off. I was really hoping that like all the shows are going to be like that creative and like unique. Like the freaking starts out as like a sitcom, like, and then going through the decades. Like that's such a cool concept
idea,
and like fit within the MCU. Like it was really freaking cool. I like that. But then they kind of switched to formula. But then I liked another positive was Loki for me. I think this is my favorite MCU show. Like I just love the vibe and like the production design of the TVA is fantastic. It's definitely, it might be my favorite like Phase 4 project. It's No Way Home is like really close. That and No Way Home I think are my top 2 in Phase 4. Loki and No Way Home. It's just really good. And then last positive in TV was Moon Knight for me. It was a really good standalone thing, but I haven't really gone back since. But I still really liked it. All right, negatives of this phase for TV for me. I actually have What If here. I think What If is really close to the middle, like just kind of a meh. And I think this is also hard for me to judge. I might be overly course correcting, but I remember this was one of the first projects that when we were starting to like do big on TikTok, I like kind of found a formula that worked and we were starting to get big numbers. So I was like really excited about that and was kind of more focused on like, how can I watch this then make content that I wasn't really like enjoying the content itself. So that might have like deterred me a little bit from it. But I don't know. Next I've got She-Hulk. I also got a credit on this one, so that's cool. But like She-Hulk is just like, I did not like it. It just felt so disjointed. Like the freaking wedding scene in the middle of it, like the wedding episode, like. And, like, I know what a good lawyer show could be because we saw Daredevil. And I was just like, this wasn't it for me. And then I also have Miss Marvel on this list. I know you and I both worked on it, and that was great. But just as a show,
it didn't cook. It did not cook.
It did not cook. These last two are kind of, like, really mid. Could flip either way depending on the day, but I just have them on negative because that's just not a resounding endorsement. But I have Hawkeye and then Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like they're not bad, but like they're not great either in my mind. I actually wanted to hear which one would you rather watch again, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier or Hawkeye? Because I feel like they're both like so.
No, I definitely watch Hawkeye again.
To me,
I
really,
I liked Hawkeye.
Wow, I'm the opposite. I think I'd rather watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I really liked. I don't know. The dynamic between the two of them and like they're working on a boat. That's cool. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that is cool. I do agree with that, but at the same time, it's I don't know. It got too. I feel like with Falcon Winter Soldier, it got like we talked about before. There's too many messages and too many things that they're trying to say.
Yeah,
that kind of
show. Yeah. You might have swayed me because I completely forgot about the whole Kate Bishop character in Hawkeye until I was just thinking about it again. I think Hawkeye's so like. In the back of my mind because I was moving across the country when it was coming out, so I would just kind of like watch half an episode when I could, like in a hotel room on my phone. So like that was my viewing experience was just like so poor that maybe, and I haven't gone back since. So that's probably what I refer to it as. But yeah, sorry, your positive and negatives for the TV show. Are there any you disagree with mine or?
No, really the only thing I disagree with was your Hawkeye thing. I put Hawkeye as a positive.
As a positive. All right.
Yeah.
Fair. All right. So what is your ranking of Phase 4 of the MCU out of 10?
It's somewhere in the 4 to 5 range. I'm trying to figure out a decimal here.
45 out of 10?
No, it wishes with all the content it made.
With the quantity, yes, there was too many things. 45 out of the 10 they should have made.
4.7 is too high. 4.6 is still too high.
Oh my gosh, that's lower than I thought.
Honestly, I'm gonna say 4.3 or 4. No, 4.4. 4.4.
Wow.
And here's why.
Okay.
The lows in this one are so freaking low.
That is true, and there's a lot of them.
They're so low.
I think I was looking past that when I was thinking. But yeah.
But what does bring it up to the 4 level?
Shang-Chi and No Way Home, and Loki.
Well, yeah, you get Banger and Loki and Moon Knight for me, dude. Oh, we didn't talk about Werewolf by Night.
Well, yeah, that's a special. I was saying we don't know if we want to talk about the specials.
Yeah,
but we can. I don't know. But sorry, I'm just looking. So I'm just seeing how many I had as positives. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positives against 8 negatives. Okay.
Yeah. Wait, how many positives?
Yeah, 7, I think.
Yeah. So it's very slightly it's like on the line bad. but it goes into the negative. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like 4.4.
But I think some of those lowers, like, but I have Hawkeye. You have one flipped because I have Hawkeye low, so you should be even higher than that. But I think Hawkeye and Falcon Winter Soldier aren't like really bad, so it's not like dragging it down too much.
All right, you convinced me. 4.6.
Okay, I was gonna say 5.3. Like I think it's not like overall bad. Like I think maybe it is.
Eternals.
It's tough.
Black Widow.
I'm saying 5.3.
Just start spitting out the project names.
I'm saying 5.3, and I'm keeping it that way. So I think we agreed, like overall in the ranking. I think our final order of like our MCU ranking from least favorite to favorite is Phase 4 at the bottom, then then there's a big gap, then Phase 2, then Phase 1, then Phase 3.
Correct.
We said okay.
Yeah,
I'm really happy with that. I mean, we agreed. Like, yeah. All right. Any other thoughts on MCU? Oh, do you want to talk about Phase 5 at all? Like, I think right now it's 50-50 for me. Quantumania, Guardians.
Yeah, no, literally, yeah. I mean,
Quantumania low, Guardians really high.
It's I
guess we'll see with the Nick Fury show. I think that's the next thing that comes out.
Yeah, honestly, it just depends on how they pace things. You know,
Secret Invasion. All right. Ready to jump into? Oh, sorry. Was there any other last minute thoughts you had before we jump into?
No,
the next
dude.
segment?
I think we covered everything. I think everything's covered pretty well.
Ready to jump into food for thought?
Yeah. What we got this time?
So I was thinking, this is like a personal thing. I was like, what food for thought do I have? Like, it could be a weird take. I eat peanut butter sandwiches, which are just peanut butter and bread, no jelly. And a lot of people think I'm crazy for that. What are your thoughts on that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. It's
okay.
Peanut butter and bread. What's wrong with that?
I don't know. Dude. I feel like the jelly is like can be really sugary and like it can be bad for you. And it's I think just when I was younger,
jelly.
Well, no, I don't care about that. But I'm saying like now as an adult, like as a kid, I started doing this. As an adult, I'm like, well, I'm healthier because I'm not having jelly. But like I think because when I make my peanut butter sandwiches, I'm thinking that, so I just put more peanut butter on to like compensate. So it ends up being like probably unhealthier anyways. But
no, like here's something I do for my breakfast, right? Like sometimes I'll just make toast, right? I use white toast extra dark, and I'll just put peanut butter over it. Like
that is good.
If
bagels
I was going
peanut
to
butter.
say, yeah. So like if
Have
I was
you
going
had
to say
waffles with peanut butter?
Yeah, dude, that slaps.
That is so good. Sorry,
that slaps. But no, I was going to say if I was going to say that just bread with peanut butter is bad, that means I'd be saying that toast and peanut butter is bad.
That's true. That's a good point. That's an argument I should start using against these peanut butter sandwich haters. Like,
yeah, dude.
What the heck? I just love peanut butter, dude. Like every time we go to Reese's peanut butter cups are the best things in the world. Like when we go to it's a Hershey and there's like there's the Reese's Extreme Cup Challenge. It's like a ride where you can get on. Reese's peanut butter cups are like chocolate candies with peanut butter inside, but you can get on this ride and it's like the whole story behind the ride is like it's a feud between the chocolate versus peanut butter. What's best? And you get to choose your like ride. I never know which one to choose. Like I always flip flop because they're just both so good. But I love peanut butter so much. We'll have to abuse my roommate when he gets on the podcast. He doesn't like peanut butter flavored things. Like he likes peanut butter,
really,
but he doesn't like anything that's like not pure peanut butter. Like
that's
chocolate,
interesting.
like Reese's. He doesn't like Reese's. I'm just like you are.
But that's pure peanut butter.
Criminal.
In there.
He doesn't like it.
Who is this?
A Michael.
Michael.
I know. I don't want to deter. I know you and him have a bond, but just lost some respect.
I did.
I'm sorry. All right, ready to jump into Patron shoutouts?
Well, here's the thing, Jake. I feel like you didn't get enough controversy on that. You know, it seemed like you wanted to get some spicy. No,
I don't. I'm actually good with.
Are you sure? Because I can give you a hot take right now.
Well, what is it? We can maybe save it for another episode.
So for Haas's, have you been to Haas's before?
Sure. Yeah.
So there used to be the little buffet section. Yeah, there's like the side that has like the desserts and the bread. Oh, I haven't been there. It probably still is there. I'm saying I haven't been in a while. But there's like the side that has like the bread, you know, like the cinnamon roll, whatever stuff. But they have the thing that disperse the icing. So as a kid, what I would do is I would get a little cup of the icing.
I'm getting diabetes just anticipating this story.
I get a cup of the icing, right? Take it back, and I get chicken tenders, and I dip the chicken tenders in icing.
You know, I don't want to like crap on it because I haven't tried it, but like, bro, how are you not?
Dude, I was a kid.
Dead?
Like it was.
Dude, I kind of want to go back. I've been to Haas's in a hot minute.
But honestly, thinking back to that flavor combo, like
cinnamon,
I want to try that again
and
as
chicken.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, you know, they do like chicken and waffles, so I could see like the sweet and savory like combination. I feel like that makes sense.
Exactly,
just like a more extreme chicken and waffles. Dude, imagine chicken and waffles, but with that icing on top.
Yeah. So I want to see what people's takes are on that. They're probably going to hate me for it.
yeah, please leave a comment. We're actually going to get into cool comments after Patron.
Would you dip your chicken tendies into icing? Let us know.
Sounds like a euphemism. And also let us know your MCU phase ranking. Do you agree with ours? We did 4, 2, 1, 3, going least to favorite there. Or do you change it up? I feel like 2 and 1 might be the most controversial. Like you could switch those around. But I think 3 and 4 are definitively top and bottom for most people, I would ask. All right. Ready to jump into patron shoutouts?
Yeah, hit me with them.
Keep up stars. You say Booshka, Patron, Louis, Frank, Rick, Lisa, Evan, Tony. Thank you so much for pledging the tier. Thank you to the shout out. If you like to support us over on Patreon, the link is down in the description. Click the audio episode early. Plus benefits, cool perks, jazz, and more. Thank you seriously, sincerely to our Patreon supporters. All right, are you ready to jump into the next segment? Cool comments.
Yeah, well, we got people saying this time.
So on our last week's episode, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 review, Lunar Butterfly commented, around this time last year is when I first started listening to your podcast. I've listened every week since then and loved every episode. I just wanted to thank you guys for doing this podcast and for being one of the highlights of my week and making me laugh, smile, and get excited, whether I was having a bad or good day. I'm also really proud of you guys for the journeys you've had with your passions, and I look forward to seeing what else you do and to listening to many more episodes. Smiley face. And that was like such, like, honestly, possibly one of the nicest comments we've ever received. So thank you so much, Lunar Butterfly. I saw that. That seriously like made my day. We really appreciate it. Like, I really don't know how to respond, but thank you seriously.
I was feeling so insecure with my like icing tenders thing, and then that just made my heart like explode, dude.
Maybe after they hear that, like they're gonna change their tune and be like, actually, I'm subscribing.
Actually, I hate you.
I cannot listen to someone who thinks that is a good food combination.
Oh my god.
But thank you, seriously. We also had a comment from Josh McIntyre because we were kind of going back and forth about the Guardians comment. They said that we theorized they might be James Gunn in disguise, and that he joked back, "Yes, I'm definitely James Gunn taking on a secret identity because I love your podcast so much." Nah, just joking. Or am I? Yeah. So thank you, Josh. Or should we say James?
Or James.
All right. Ready to jump into the introduction?
Yeah, dude. Tell me when.
When?
We just talked about what we want to talk about, and now we're done.
Thank you seriously, sincerely to everyone for listening. We really appreciate it. We've got an exciting episode next week. It is on food. So if you like our Food for Thought section, we're going to be going over some famous movie and TV fictional dishes. So subscribe for that. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.